Ko tōku rākatōtanga. Ko te pēpēha o te tangata whenua o Te Rākatō. Ko tōku pūkenga whenua, ko tōku nohonga tangata, ko tōku mana. My ancestral land is my people, my identity, my rākatōtanga. Chronicled in ancient times is our birthright, immovable forever. It's our rākatōtanga.
Ngā tīmata me ngā kōrero o ngā tipuna Te Rākatō. Ko Paikia, te maunga, ko Kōpuāwhara, te awa, ko Kaiwaitau, te whenua. Let's begin with a bit of whakapapa on Te Rākatō. His parents were Te Huki and Te Ropohina o Te Rākai Pāka iwi, and they begat Te Rākatō. Their life began and they lived on the land of the whareraters, which began at Waikokapu, at Opotama, and it came all the way through to Pourewa. Pourewa was a boundary and it went inland through Tārewa. And that land from Tāwera reached back to Maia, to the Kopapa Valley at Umamango. And those were his boundaries that he stayed in. The arrival of the Europeans came and upset a lot of the Māoris staying in that area. Also, the Māori wars were in full swing. A lot of them come down to wipe out the people at Mahia. It was rongo mai wahine and her iwi. So when he cast his net, all those people gathered in Mahia for protection. And Te Rākatō held the tepa. He was the commander of all the soldiers and the warriors in this whole area under his command. And he carried this tepa and then he commanded all those people, different hapu. And on the arrival of Captain Cook, when he landed here in Gisborne, he actually went through there and he met one of Te Rākatō's sons, Meke. And he asked Meke that, who was the boss here? Who was the chief here? And he said his father was the chief of this whole whareraters right through to Mahia. Captain Cook then put it on the map. When he drew up his map, while he was changing names everywhere, and he called it Rākatō Peninsula. And that stayed there for so many years and somehow it was pulled off. As today, it's Māoris came, they wanted to call it Nuku. Still parts of the Mahia is Nuku, but the majority they changed it to Mahia. It was a name they brought from Hawaii through Ruawhara on the Wakataki Timu. And of course there were two waka that landed there. It was the Kuruhopo and the Takitumu. Takitumu landed at Oraka, and Ruawhara, he disembarked there, and he stayed there. His brother Tahu then took the waka from Mahia to the South Island, through to Wairo, all along that coastline, and it ended up in the South Island. Tahu was his brother. And of course, one of his other brothers hopped off up at the east coast, and that was Praurangi. That was another brother of Ruawhara. So all those high-ranking priests, they disembarked all along the coastline here, and they took up authority over the land. And they formed their own iwis, as we hear today. But I think in the old days, I don't know whether that word was ever used. It was always under command of somebody, and most of them come off the Wakataki Timu. and they still retain that today. But within that, the whakapapa blood came down to the present one that we live in, and ours was Te Rākatō. And what he did, he left one of his brothers at Nuhaka, Terehu, and there they have a marae for him and his whānau there. And there was a younger one, the Pōtiki was Turea. He went down to Koto Māori, down that way. And Turea, the Pōtiki of that family, that was the name of Tuhuki's father. That was his name as well. Now, getting back to the present day, he was Rākatō with his tepa. He commanded that whole area in Māia, right along the whenua, and it was known then that he was the paramount chief of all these lands, right to Ngāi Tamahiri. And because he had other connections for his education, people up the coast wanted Te Rākatō, so he went up there. He went to Muriwai, and then he also went up to Waikato. So he was a man of great leadership. And Te Rākatō, he married dominant females in those areas. When he went to Waikato, he married Hine Tāwhio, and that left his bloodline up there. And then he came back to Māia. In Māia, he had two wives. It was Hine Wehi, and it was Hika Ātāhua. Those were his two wives in Māia, because he made that his residence and stayed up at the top of the Tuna Nui. And this is part of the boundaries of his. It was the Tuna Nui River, which flows from the whenua, and it goes through the Nuhaka Valley, and it joins up with the Nuhaka River. And those were the boundaries that were used in those days. So everything on the eastern side of the Tunanui River were the land of Te Rākatō as his successor and the tuakana of his whānau. He had something like 30 children just with the two women that he married in Māia, which we all descend from.